This is Dave here. He's been with me for quite a while. We're going to work on some basic boxing. So in the new video that came out, the standard Core JKD curriculum level 1, it goes into great detail on so many things. It's really densely packed with information. But we're going to cover a few things here because I keep forgetting people need to go back to basics. So that's what we're going to hit right now. We're just going to have Dave loosen up. Part of the process of training boxing is reducing tension as much as possible. So there's always the thought of breathing exercises and things like that. The biggest thing that you can do, inhale deeply, let the whole body exhale. Let's do that like 3 times, and that will be the start of where you should start. And so once you start doing the training and all of a sudden you feel tension, just do that same 3 nice deep breaths, exhale completely, and let the whole body drop. So what we're going to do here, because he has an understanding of the basics, which again are covered in the video, but all we're going to have him do is just kind of loosely flick out some jabs, and he's just going to get in his Baijong stance. He's just going to do some nice loose jabs into the air, relaxing. This is one of the better parts of if you were to take a piece of paper and have him hit the paper. That helps tremendously because there's no impact that the person has to, first of all, they don't stop at something mentally. They are able to go through it. Like here, he's punching the air, he's just like flowing right through. There's no response. So what I'm gonna do, because if I sense any tension and I see that he's holding himself up a little bit on certain things, I'm gonna have him extend. So he's gonna throw out his jab just like that, nice finger jab, nice and loose, because that's gonna be the loosest. So we're gonna have him just touch my fingers and he's gonna stay where he's at. So wherever his lead foot is, he's gonna stay there. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna have him reach to the extent, and then I'm gonna push it a little far. So he's gonna go through, make that contact nice and loose, just making it nice and loose. And all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna move back. And he's gotta do that, and we're gonna see just how far. Yeah, don't take that step. Okay. You gotta, what this is gonna do. Yeah. See, he's trained for it, so he wants to make sure that base is under him. So what I'm gonna do, however, because I wanna train a looseness and a relaxation through the strike to let the body go through, I'm gonna have him teeter, I'm gonna have him fall over if necessary, trying to reach the extent of where I'm holding. Yeah. Yeah. So you'll see, for him to compensate, he has to actually raise the foot up and the rear, and he'll counter, just like a kangaroo's tail. He'll have to go extending it really far out in order to not fall over. But now what we're looking at is the rest of his body, how much he has to extend. So if he holds that out, just touch my, yeah. So now, as I go back, he's got to touch that, he's got to touch it, he's got to touch that. Now if there's a bunch of tension, so if he inhales right now, release it. Now already he's had more penetration. Already there was more depth on that I felt, just from him relaxing. So what that does is it relaxes everything. There's this entire chain of muscles from the brain down to the nerves to the muscles that all of a sudden make tension a thing. So when he relaxes and extends through it, now look, his range, you can see the shoulder just starts coming out. This is really important. Anxiety comes into play in a fight all the time. And if you know the difference between what tension state is and what relaxation state is, you will then have a feedback system for all of a sudden you'll realize, oh, I'm massively tense right now, need to bring that down. And that's part of the mental training you have to do for the boxing, for any of our fighting. When I say boxing, our boxing is different. Our boxing has to deal with my coming in and shooting to take his legs, my kicking his head. I may go here and then pop his head. That's not in standard boxing. I may pull out a knife. I may have a friend that I'm signaling off to the side to pull out their knife. His boxing Our boxing has to deal with that. And there's different ways of training that. We train the periphery, we train a dynamic base that's very different. So it's not a very static base, but a very dynamic. Absolutely. Adapts to any type of encounter. So again, he already felt that relaxed state. Now he's gonna just go back to his normal striking the air again with that understanding of his relaxed state. Yeah. And he's gonna let that go. Yeah. And you can see the body is different. You can see how much more he's cleanly following through. Yeah. Crosses are different. Crosses require the body to rotate. So if you come over here, and what he's got to do is he's got to rotate across the body like that. We're going to stay on the balls of the feet. I'm going to force you to stay on that ball. There you go. And this is important. It's not easy, but we train our balance system very dynamically. When I have him put more of his weight up on that ball of the foot, now he's very unstable, but his calf muscles are working overtime to compensate and dynamically adjust for instability. So that means that any time that he's in an unstable state, he's going to have the physiology there to back it up. So now you can see he's got to push through basically across, is bringing the body across, or bringing the strike across the body to the target. So when he's making this motion and he's trying to make this contact, he's bringing that across just like that, and he's turning, there we go, and get back to the standard Baijong stance. So make sure that the other foot, so once I'm here like this and we're in this state, regardless of what my position is here, his hips have to be turned not over here fighting me, but they've got to be fighting me here, because that's where I am. If I'm over here, then he's fine. But then he's going to change his stance a little bit too. Otherwise, I'm going to teep him right to a third point. So now he's going to just adapt. He's going to stay right there. There we go. And so now his hips are rotated toward me. So what that means is he's going to be able to bring that cross over to this area better. He doesn't have to rotate as far. And so what we're going to help on the cross for some people is just the mentality of bringing that knee to the other knee, if you think about it that way. And because we're going to make this hard to make sure that his physiology is trained properly, we're going to have him go on his balls of his feet. Now you can see, if you look really closely, look at how his body is compensating. The musculature is engaging, okay? So there's a nervous system set up according to what the brain is actually experiencing, and then having to adjust to this. All of those little micro tremors that he's doing to compensate for this are boosting up his ability to withstand uneven terrain or against resistance, okay? So, and then he relax. Now, do it without the punch and just throw the hip. Yeah, there you go. Mm-hmm. More on the ball of the feet. Yeah, there you go. Relax into it. Yep, just send the hip out now. There you go. So now we're just bringing the hip out, okay? There you go. Because this is a precursor to powerful strikes with follow through. Now, hip and strike. Big difference. Just the penetration on this strike is very different. The fluidity of the body through that range of motion is important. So we'll turn back. So when you look at his feet like this, again, balls of the feet. This is hardest for a lot of people to train. You want to get to a point where the calves are activating like that. When you see my musculature and how this is set up on my leg, that's from the dynamic exchange of having to balance like that frequently. I do that as a matter of my conditioning and my adaptability. Your physiology tunes and shapes to the demand that you're putting it under, which is interesting when you see people who are like climbing there in movies, oh, I'm a rock climber, I've been doing it all my life. But their physiology says that they've never climbed a rock more than a week or two for the shot or for the movie. It's the same thing here. His physiology, his calves, his arms, just the actual ability of his forearms and so forth to build the mass as it is a condition of two different things. One is training and also is jobs. So what you do in your life also conditions you. So if you're sedentary, guess what? you're conditioned for being sedentary. If you have a physiology that shows a wide range of motion and power and flexibility, then you're training for that. Your physiology doesn't lie. He's going to, again, throw the jab, and then he's going to throw across. Now he's going to first inhale deeply, and then he's going to inhale once more. Yeah, so hold it up at the top. Now hold it up once more, and then let it go. Now relax, just the whole body. Now he's going to go jab. Yeah, big difference. Cross. There we go. Jab, cross. The key on jab and cross, or any combination of strikes, is not to short stroke the first strike unless you're doing it as a feint or you're faking. So meaning his jab should be to knock somebody out. His cross should be to knock somebody out. This is for training. Later, he may shorten that jab as a fake and then set the cross in there. Yeah. So there's a big difference between the power delivery when we're first training. When we're first training, it's punch the air, punch paper, get the body relaxed through the range of motion. Get the physics, the dynamics. We cover that in the video as far as exactly how to position your feet, how to turn your hips, how to hold the fist, things like that. So when we're doing this now, he's going to just nice and lightly, we're still going to do finger jabs. He's just going to and finger jab isn't like this straight thing or anything like that. It's loose, like shotgun pellets out of a shotgun shell. That's what you want, because one of those will hit the eyes. That's what we're looking at. So now he's just going to, yeah. There we go. Nice and loose, yeah. There we go. Because I'm not looking for power. I'm looking for how his body is delivering the message from his brain. I want to make sure that that is a follow through in more than one way. Now the cross. Normally I don't look away from my partner when I'm training, but this is a lot of, this is making sure that I'm addressing the camera as well. So when I'm actually training it, I'm like this. I'm going to be covering, because you can't always trust, especially in our training, with how I go around and making sure I check people's cover. I want to make sure that this is up, and if I'm holding for the face, that's my rear. So that can go flying like this. Am I holding for hooks? It's like this. It's off to the side. We keep a very tight strike zone, because that's where the head is. The head isn't here and the head isn't here. There's nobody with a head that big. So we keep the strike zone like this. And there's a particular way of standing. One is like this. So for the cover, I'm making sure that my rear foot and the rear hand can fly back like that. When you're training somebody who's doing this for the first time, you'll hold it out further away, because sometimes they'll punch at your face. And you want them, so if the end range of that punch comes out here, it's not actually hitting your face. So when we're looking at the target, like on a jab, it's going like through that. If I see, and we're going to have him do like a fade right now, so he's going to actually end the punch off at an angle. So this is incorrectly being trained. Okay, so if I sense him doing that while he's punching here, I'll notice by the end of his motion. So what this means is at the end of his punch, when it's crossed here, guess what? I have an exposed position on my partner here. These are all strike zones for me. If he's got this facing right to me, bam, okay. That limits my ability to hit his head. That limits my strike zone here, because I have to get past this now. If that fade throws him off like that and under an emotional stress situation, that may throw his balance off in that direction too. which opens up for strikes on the low line, shoots, things like that. So if I sense that that's happening, what I do is I go like this. He now has to hit this pad through this one. And you'll see that there's a difference. There's no more fading. He doesn't rotate his body off the end of that, and he'll throw his cross. Same thing. Now see, the cross will fade more because you're having to dynamically adjust to where the target is. There you go. How much you rotate. So when he goes out and he throws that cross, yeah, there you go. And again, throws it out. And again, because again, he wants to hit me, not somebody over there, unless that's particularly his thing. It's a fake. He's not going to hit me. He's going to hit my buddy. So there, yeah, but he'll step into it. He'll change his position. He absolutely did that because he was trained that way. If he's going to fight somebody over there, he's got to adjust his base to have that base underneath him while he strikes. Okay. So this is just a little bit of information regarding striking. So these are just nice and loosely, throw some punches. So there we go. And relax. Anytime I sense tension, have him get back to relax. There we go. Relax. Yeah. Yeah. There we go. Relaxing doesn't mean drop the cover. He throws it slowly, throws that out. That cover is in play. His head is down. He starts bringing that shoulder and the head together on this. There we go. Even if he rotates that punch, if he turns that over, instead of a Wing Chun, he rotates it like that, his jaw and shoulder are coming together. That minimizes what I can do here, or with a kick, or with a partner on the outside. His cover on that side helps prevent this knockout line. So if he's got that shoulder down and he's got his head up, which you're going to see a lot of times in fights, people put their head way back. You're exposing this entire knockout line. Bad idea. So he gets back to it. Yeah, there we go. Now a little fading, that's where he corrected himself. And then we just go back to this. These are the training aids to make sure that those punches go all the way through your intended target, out the back of their head. Okay.